My dear friends, life has a way of teaching us that success is not something handed over. It is something we choose to build, even with trembling hands, even with a broken spirit, even when no one else believes in us. Success depends on you, and only you. Allow me to share 15 reminders that can help us walk toward it. Success begins the moment you take responsibility for your life instead of blaming others. It is easy to point fingers, to complain about circumstances, or to dwell on what people did to you, but none of that can change the reality you are living in. The moment you decide to take charge of your own choices, you take back your power. Life may not have been fair, but it is still yours to shape. No one else can walk in your shoes. No one else can fight your battles the way you can. And no one else can decide for you how your story will unfold. That choice rests entirely in your hands. Success is also about perspective. When challenges come, you have two options: to see them as heavy walls blocking your way, or as ladders that make you climb higher. Failure is not a dead end. It is simply a redirection. Every time life pushes you down, it is also giving you a chance to rise taller than before. What matters is the way you respond to those falls. If you allow failure to teach you, to humble you, and to strengthen you, then even your setbacks will become part of your success story. Success is not about never falling, it is about learning how to stand again, and again, and again. We often think success depends on big achievements or applause from others, but the truth is, it lies in the peace of knowing you gave your best. Sometimes, life does not go as planned and dreams break into pieces. Yet those broken pieces can still create a new design, one that may be even more beautiful than the original. Waiting for perfect conditions is a mistake, because perfection never comes. Success belongs to those who start with what they have, where they are, and with the courage to move forward, despite imperfections. Along the way, there will be voices that doubt you, criticize you, or try to hold you back. But those voices are not enemies. They are reminders that your belief in yourself must be louder than any doubt outside of you. Success depends on your persistence to wake up every morning, even after nights filled with tears, and still choose gratitude. Gratitude opens doors that complaints never will. It keeps your heart alive and your spirit strong, and that strength is what will carry you through when motivation fades. One of the biggest traps that steal joy from your journey is comparison. Walking in someone else's shoes will only bring pain, because your journey is unique. Success is not about speed, but about direction. Even slow, steady steps in the right path will take you further than standing still or running in circles. Sometimes, success is not about changing the whole world, but about changing your little world. By showing kindness, by choosing forgiveness, and by daring to believe in yourself again, each small act of courage becomes a building block of your success. Finally, success depends on how you use your scars. Every struggle you went through has a story, and that story can be a light for someone still sitting in darkness. Success is not just what you achieve for yourself, but the hope you spread through your journey. To reach that kind of success, you must forgive yourself for every mistake, every delay, and every wrong turn, because you are still learning. And above all, remember this truth: no one else can walk your path, no one else can carry your dreams, and no one else can live your destiny. Success depends on you. And that is your greatest power. It is not about what you have lost, but about what you still have in your hands to create something new. Life has a way of taking things from us without warning. People, opportunities, health, dreams. In those moments, it feels as if everything has ended. But the truth is, even in loss, you are not empty. You still carry gifts inside you. You still have the ability to choose. And you still have the strength to rebuild. Loss only takes away what is outside of you. It cannot touch what you carry within. When you focus on what you no longer have, you live in the shadows of yesterday. But when you shift your gaze toward what is still in your reach, a new path opens up. You may have lost time, but you still have today. You may have lost approval, but you still have your own voice. You may have lost one dream, but there are countless others waiting for you to notice them. What you hold in your hands right now might seem small, but seeds always look small before they grow into trees. Every ending can be turned into a beginning if you choose to look at it differently. Think of people who start from nothing after losing everything. Some of the strongest and most inspiring stories come from those who decided to build from the ashes. The question is not what was taken from you, but what you are willing to do with what remains. Even broken pieces can be rearranged into art if you decide not to throw them away. It is also important to remember that what you have is enough to begin. Many people wait until they feel complete or until everything seems perfect before they start again. But success does not come to those who wait endlessly for conditions to change. It comes to those who take one small step forward with what they already have. Sometimes that step is as simple as believing in yourself again or using the little resources at your disposal to make progress. When you shift your focus from loss to possibility, you find resilience growing inside you. Resilience is not about avoiding pain. It is about discovering strength you did not know you had. You cannot bring back what is gone, but you can honor it by creating something meaningful with what remains. That act alone turns loss into a lesson and pain into power. So let your hands hold tightly to the tools, talents, and truths that are still yours. Stop staring at the closed door and start noticing the open ones around you. You have more than you think. Success will not come from grieving endlessly over what slipped away, but from nurturing what stayed and using it to create something new, something better, and something that belongs fully to you. Success depends on the way you see challenges because life will never run smoothly without them. Every person faces trials, obstacles, and moments that test their patience and willpower. For some, these challenges feel like heavy walls that cannot be broken, so they stop walking forward and let fear take control. But for others, the same challenges become a ladder, a chance to grow stronger and rise higher. The difference is not in the challenge itself, but in the way you choose to see it. When you see an obstacle as the end of the road, you begin to lose your hope. You tell yourself that you cannot move any further, and that belief becomes a prison that locks away your potential. But when you see it as a ladder, even though it may be difficult to climb, you realize that each step you take is shaping your strength. Life was never meant to be easy. It was meant to prepare you, mold you, and sharpen you for something greater. Challenges are not punishments. They are opportunities wearing tough disguises. Think about a seed that must break through hard soil to reach the light. If it gave up at the first resistance, it would never become a tree. In the same way, if their challenges are not there to destroy you but to help you discover the hidden power inside you. The strength you build when climbing a ladder of challenges becomes the very strength that helps you handle success when it arrives. Without those struggles, you would never know how much you are capable of. It is also true that when you choose to see challenge as ladders, you develop resilience. Resilience is not avoiding pain, it is carrying the pain and still moving forward. Every difficult situation becomes a lesson that teaches patience, endurance, and courage. Each hardship is like a rung on the ladder, lifting you a little higher, giving you a clearer view of what you can achieve. The more you climb, the more you see that the wall was never blocking you. It was only waiting for you to rise above it. This shift in perspective changes everything. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you begin to ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of crying over how high the wall seems, you focus on the strength you gain with every step. Success is not promised to those who avoid struggles, but to those who face them with a determined heart. The ladder may be steep, but each climb brings you closer to your purpose. So when life places a challenge before you, remember you have a choice. You can stop, complain, and let it hold you back, or you can place your foot on the first rung and begin to climb. Every step will test you, but every step will also transform you. Success depends on how you see those moments, and once you start treating challenges as ladders, you will realize they are not obstacles at all. They are the very bridges that carry you to your dreams. Every failure is a hidden teacher, though at first it feels like an enemy. When something does not work out, the natural reaction is disappointment, shame, or even anger at yourself for not being good enough. But if you pause for a moment and look deeper, you will see that failure carries messages that success never could. It whispers to you that there is another way, that your approach can be different, and that you are stronger than the setback itself. If failure is not there to stop you, but to remind you that growth happens in the moments when things don't go as planned. Each time you fail, you are given a chance to rise taller than before. It is like falling down on the ground. Every time you stand up again, your legs grow steadier and your balance becomes better. In life, resilience is built the same way. Without failure, you would never learn how much strength you actually have. Success tastes sweeter when you have known the bitterness of defeat, because you understand the value of standing again after falling. Failure also teaches humility. It keeps you grounded and shows you that no one is perfect, no one always wins, and everyone has lessons to learn. It teaches patience, reminding you that good things take time, and sometimes more than one attempt. It teaches creativity, pushing you to try again in a new way, instead of repeating the same mistake. In this way, failure shapes you into someone more capable, more determined, and more prepared for the future. When you start seeing failure as a teacher, your fear of it begins to fade. You no longer hesitate to take risks or to step out of your comfort zone, because you know even if you fail, you will learn. The greatest achievers in the world are not those who never failed, but those who failed many times and still had the courage to keep moving forward. Their failures became stepping stones, not stumbling blocks, because they chose to see the lesson instead of the loss. So, when you stumble in life, do not bury your head in regret. Listen to what the failure is trying to teach you. Stand up, adjust your path, and walk forward with a stronger heart. Every failure is preparing you for the day you succeed. It is not the end of the story, but a chapter that makes the ending more powerful. Remember, failure is not your enemy. It is one of the most valuable teachers you will ever have. Success is never measured by applause or recognition. It is measured by the peace you feel when you know you gave your best. Many times, people chase validation from others, believing that claps, praise, or awards are the proof that they have achieved something meaningful. But applause is temporary, and recognition can fade quickly. The world forgets faster than it remembers, and if your success depends only on external validation, you will always feel empty once the noise dies down. True success is something deeper, something no one else can measure for you. There is a quiet kind of fulfillment that comes from knowing you gave everything you had, regardless of whether anyone noticed. That feeling is priceless because it cannot be taken away by opinions, criticism, or ignorance. You may not receive applause, but you can sleep with peace, knowing you did what was in your heart with honesty and effort. That inner peace is more valuable than any standing ovation, because it stays with you long after the crowd disperses. Chasing recognition can also become a trap. When you live only for praise, you lose yourself trying to please others. You forget your own values and dreams, bending your path just to fit expectations. But success that is shaped by other people's approval is fragile. It shatters the moment their opinions change. Real success, on the other hand, is built on authenticity. It comes from staying true to yourself, even when the world is silent, even when no one sees the battles you are fighting. This is why some of the most successful people are not the ones standing on stages or receiving medals, but the ones who work quietly, consistently, and sincerely. A mother raising her children with love, a teacher shaping young minds, an artist creating from the heart. These acts may not always be celebrated by the world, but they carry the essence of true success. It is about the impact you make, not the applause you receive. When you begin to measure success by the peace within, you free yourself from the chains of comparison. You no longer ask, "Am I as good as them?" Or, "Did they notice me?" Instead, you ask, "Did I give my best?" That single question becomes your compass. The answer, when honest, will always guide you in the right direction. Peace of mind is the reward that applause can never buy. So remember, the loudest applause is not the one you hear from others, but the one you feel in your soul when you stay true to your journey. Let that inner peace be your measure of success. If you gave your best with integrity and heart, then you have already succeeded, no matter who saw it or who failed to notice. When life breaks your plans, it feels like the ground beneath you has been pulled away. You work hard, you plan carefully, you dream with all your heart, and suddenly everything shatters without warning. It is painful, it is frustrating, and sometimes it feels unfair. But what we often forget is that broken plans are not the end of the journey. Sometimes they are gentle or not so gentle. Reminders that those plans were not meant for us, or that something even greater is waiting beyond the pieces. There are times when what you thought was your path was only preparing you for the real one. Life does not break your plans to punish you, it breaks them to redirect you. Every closed door is an invitation to find another one that leads somewhere better. At first, you may not understand why your dream slipped away, but later you may realize that the dream you lost was not truly yours. It was borrowed from expectations, from society, from comparisons, or from fear. When you are forced to design a new dream, it comes from a deeper place. This time, you are not blindly following what others told you should matter. You are creating something that speaks to your soul. The breaking of plans allows you to pause, reflect, and ask yourself what you really want, not what looks good from the outside. And in that reflection, you may discover a dream that is more authentic, more meaningful, and more fulfilling. This process also teaches you flexibility. Life is not a straight road, it bends, it twists, and sometimes it leads you through storms you never expected. But if you can learn to bend with it, instead of breaking, you grow stronger. If flexibility does not mean giving up, it means adapting, adjusting, and still moving forward with courage. The ability to design a new dream after loss is a strength that no one can take away from you. The beauty of broken plans is that they make you resourceful. You begin to use what you still have instead of crying over what is gone. You begin to trust the timing of life, even when you do not fully understand it. You realize that the story is not over just because one chapter ended differently. Often, the most beautiful chapters of life are written after disappointment, when you decide to dream again with even more determination. So when your plans break, do not lose heart. Do not cling to the pieces so tightly that you miss the new design waiting to emerge. Use the fragments of your old dream to create something that truly belongs to you. It may take time, it may take patience, but in the end, you will find that life was not breaking you. It was reshaping you. And the dream you build after the storm will be one that carries the weight of your truth and the strength of your journey. Many people spend their whole lives waiting for the right moment, the right resources, or the right circumstances before they begin. They say, "If I will start when I have more money, more support, more clarity, or more time." But the truth is, perfection never arrives. Life will always be a little messy, uncertain, and unpredictable. If you wait for everything to align perfectly, you may end up waiting forever. Success is not about perfect timing. It is about daring to start where you are with what you have. Imperfection does not mean weakness, it means humanity. Every successful journey you admire today began with someone who was uncertain, inexperienced, or underprepared. They did not wait until they knew everything. They learned along the way. The courage to take the first step, even when you feel incomplete, is what separates dreamers from doers. You do not need to have all the answers before moving forward. You need only the willingness to begin. When you start despite imperfections, you discover strengths you never knew you had. Life has a way of teaching you on the road what you could never learn while standing still. Each mistake becomes a lesson, each challenge becomes practice, and each small victory becomes motivation. Progress is born out of action, not out of waiting. If you are brave enough to move forward with your flaws and fears, you will realize that the journey itself shapes you into the person capable of reaching the goal. Perfection, in many ways, is an illusion. Those who look polished today were once beginners fumbling through their first steps. Success was never about flawless execution. It was about persistence through imperfection. If you look too long at the cracks in your own life, you will convince yourself you are unworthy of building anything. But if you choose to use those cracks as proof of your strength, they will become the very foundation of your growth. There will always be a reason to wait: fear of failure, lack of resources, uncertainty about the future. But if you allow those reasons to hold you back, you will watch your dreams pass by while others, less prepared than you, move forward and succeed. The truth is, courage is not the absence of imperfection. It is the decision to keep moving in spite of it. Success belongs to those who risk being imperfect in the pursuit of something meaningful. So stop waiting for the perfect day, the perfect chance, or the perfect version of yourself. Begin now, even if your steps are shaky. Trust that you will grow along the way, that clarity will come with movement, and that strength will come with struggle. Your journey does not have to be perfect to be powerful. Success will never ask you to be flawless. It will only ask you to be brave enough to begin. The people who doubt you are not your enemies. They are simply mirrors reflecting the world's uncertainty back at you. When someone tells you that you cannot achieve something, it is often not about your limits, but about theirs. They are speaking from their own fears, their own failures, or their own lack of vision. It can hurt to be underestimated, but if you listen carefully, you will realize that their doubt is only a test, an invitation to strengthen your own belief. Every time someone questions your ability, you are faced with a choice. You can accept their words and shrink yourself to fit their expectations, or you can let their doubt fuel you to grow beyond what they ever imagined. Success does not require the world's approval. It requires your own conviction. If you believe in your journey deeply enough, the noise of doubt will eventually fade, and the results you create will speak louder than any argument. Sometimes the people who doubt you are the ones closest to you. It is not always because they wish you harm. It is because they fear for you, or they cannot see what you see. Not everyone will understand your vision, and that is okay. The dream was placed in your heart, not theirs. They were not meant to carry it, you were. And that means the responsibility to nurture it, protect it, and fight for it rests on your shoulders alone. Doubt, when faced with courage, can actually become a gift. It pushes you to work harder, to prepare better, to sharpen your focus, and to prove to yourself that you are capable. In some ways, the people who doubt you unknowingly help you grow stronger. Without their disbelief, you might not feel the fire to keep going when things get hard. Their doubt can either crush you or push you forward. The choice is always yours. What matters most is that your inner voice remains louder than the voices outside. If you constantly feed yourself with words of fear and comparison, the world's doubt will easily break you. But if you train yourself to speak with confidence, to remind yourself of your worth, and to celebrate even the smallest progress, your belief will overpower the negativity around you. The battle is not against others. It is against the quiet enemy of self-doubt within. So let the doubters speak, let them question, and let them shake their heads. You do not need to silence them. You only need to keep walking. With time, the very people who doubted you may become the ones inspired by your persistence. Success is not about proving them wrong. It is about proving yourself right. And the only way to do that is to believe so strongly in your path that no voice, no matter how loud, can drown out your own. Success depends on your ability to rise every morning and still choose gratitude even when the night was filled with tears. Life has a way of testing you in the quiet hours when no one is watching. There are nights when the weight of pain, disappointment, or loneliness feels unbearable, and you wonder how you will face another day. Yet, when morning comes, the most powerful decision you can make is to lift your head, step out of bed, and whisper a thank you. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are still here breathing, alive, and capable of trying again. Gratitude does not erase pain, but it changes the way you carry it. Instead of being crushed by what went wrong, gratitude teaches you to notice what is still right. You may have cried through the night, but the morning sun is still rising. You may have lost something precious, but there is still something left to hold. Gratitude does not ask you to deny your suffering, it asks you to see beyond it, to recognize that even in the darkest moments, there are small lights worth holding on to. Choosing gratitude each morning is an act of strength. It is easy to be grateful when life is kind, when everything falls into place, when dreams are fulfilled. But true strength is found in the days when nothing looks the way you hoped, and you still choose to say, I am thankful. Thankful for the breath in your lungs, thankful for the lessons in the struggle, thankful for another chance to try again. Gratitude in hard times is not weakness. It is courage at its purest. This daily choice also shapes your mindset. The world will always present reasons to complain, to be bitter, to give up. But if you choose to focus on even the smallest blessings, a kind word, a helping hand, a quiet moment of peace, you build resilience. Gratitude reprograms your heart to see possibilities instead of impossibilities. It does not remove the tears of the night, but it gives you the strength to rise in spite of them. And that strength is what keeps you moving towards success. Over time, gratitude becomes your shield. When negativity tries to pull you down, when setbacks try to make you bitter, and gratitude reminds you that your life is still filled with reasons to continue. It protects your spirit from despair and keeps your vision clear when challenges blur the path. People who practice gratitude consistently are not free of struggles. They simply refuse to let those struggles steal the joy of living. And that joy becomes fuel for persistence. So, even when your nights are heavy and your eyes are tired from crying, rise in the morning and choose gratitude. Thank life for another chance. Thank your heart for beating through the storm. Thank the new day for its possibilities. Gratitude will not erase your struggles, but it will give you the wings to rise above them. That choice, to be thankful even when it hurts, is one of the deepest forms of success, because it proves that your spirit is stronger than your pain. Comparing your journey with others is like walking in borrowed shoes. You may manage to take a few steps, but soon the discomfort will leave you wounded. Every person's life is stitched together with unique experiences, struggles, and lessons. What fits them may never fit you, and what works for you may never work for them. The more you try to measure yourself against someone else's timeline or success, the more pain you create for yourself. You end up chasing a path that was never designed for you, forgetting the beauty of your own. It is tempting to look at others and believe they are ahead of you, more talented or more blessed. In the age of constant comparisons, it feels like everyone else is moving faster, achieving more, and living with greater ease. But what you see on the surface is never the full picture. You do not see their silent battles, their hidden fears, or the sacrifices they made along the way. By comparing yourself to them, you reduce your own journey to a race you were never meant to run. Every person has a different rhythm, a different pace, and a different season. Some bloom early, others bloom later, but blooming late does not mean you will be less beautiful. Your time will come, but only if you stay true to your own path instead of wasting energy trying to follow someone else's. When you keep looking sideways, you lose sight of the road ahead. Success is not about being first, it is about being faithful to your journey. Comparison also steals joy. Instead of celebrating your small victories, you dismiss them because they don't look as shiny as someone else's achievements. This constant dissatisfaction eats away at your peace, leaving you feeling like nothing you do is enough. But fulfillment comes from gratitude, from recognizing how far you have already come, and from appreciating the steps you are taking. When you stop comparing, you start noticing the quiet progress happening in your own life. The truth is, walking in borrowed shoes will always give you blisters because they were never made for your feet. In the same way, if someone else's path will always feel uncomfortable because it was never designed for your soul. The discomfort is life's way of reminding you to return to your own lane, to honor your own struggles, and to celebrate your own growth. When you walk in your own shoes, no matter how worn they are, the journey feels authentic and real. So stop looking at the pace of others and start embracing your own. Your story has its own timing, its own beauty, and its own lessons. The only person you should strive to be better than is the person you were yesterday. Walk confidently in your own shoes, with all their imperfections, because they are carrying you toward a destination that was made for you alone. And when you finally arrive, if the fulfillment you feel will be deeper than anything comparison could ever give. Success is not about speed, it is about direction. Many people rush through life as if they are in a race, trying to get ahead of everyone else. They measure their progress by how quickly they achieve things, not realizing that running fast in the wrong direction only takes them further away from their true destination. Moving quickly does not guarantee success. Moving purposefully does. Even if your steps are slow, if they are leading you toward the right path, you are still making progress that matters. There is nothing wrong with taking your time. In fact, some of the strongest foundations are built slowly. A tree does not grow overnight, yet its roots deepen quietly before it stands tall. In the same way, your journey may take longer than others, but if you are moving in the right direction, you will eventually reach where you are meant to be. Success is not about how fast you arrive. It is about arriving at a place that truly fulfills you. The danger of speed without direction is that it makes you restless. You keep moving, but you feel empty because you do not know why or where you are going. You may look successful in the eyes of others because you are always busy, but inside you feel lost. True success requires clarity of direction more than it requires speed. When you know your purpose, even the smallest step forward feels meaningful because it is aligned with who you are and what you value. Slow progress can feel discouraging, especially when you see others racing ahead. But remind yourself that consistency is more powerful than haste. A single small step, repeated every day, eventually creates a journey of miles. Success often belongs to those who are patient enough to stay steady when others burn out from rushing. What matters is not how quickly you get there, but that you do not stop moving forward. Life is not a competition. Everyone has their own pace, and their own struggles, and their own timing. Moving slowly does not mean you are failing. It simply means you are building carefully. When you honor your own rhythm, instead of chasing someone else's speed, you save yourself from unnecessary stress and disappointment. Direction keeps you grounded, reminding you that even slow steps are carrying you closer to your dream. So take your steps with intention, not with haste. Do not worry if others are moving faster, their journey is not yours. Focus on your own path, one step at a time, and trust that steady movement in the right direction will always lead you further than rushing without purpose. Success is not about how fast you go, it is about where you are headed and whether the path you walk truly belongs to you.